Live from the Vodafone Gigabit Broadband Studio in Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. Waterford councillors have been urged to pull on the blue jersey ahead of this evening's budget meeting. The local authority is down €1.3 million due to the revaluation of water rates. The company behind the North Quays development say they're still working on their planning application. Gardaí are investigating a number of burglaries in Waterford yesterday. And in sport, Waterford's Jack O'Donoghue's to captain Munster in tonight's Pro 14 clash against Edinburgh. Waterford councillors have been urged to pull on the blue jersey ahead of this evening's budget meeting. The annual meeting was delayed until this evening as the council tries to plug a hole in its finances. The local authority is down €1.3 million due to the revaluation of Irish water rates. Sinn Féin's Conor McGuinness says all parties need to work together to get the budget passed.
There's a huge challenge that we as a council are facing, and I think it's extremely important. And we said in the emergency meeting last week that all parties and independents would work together, that we'd pull on the blue jersey and we do what it takes to get to the end of this.
Waterford Chamber of Commerce has expressed concern about a proposed 5% rise in commercial rates. The increase to be proposed by Waterford Council CEO Michael Walsh is expected to be resisted by councillors when they meet this evening. Chamber CEO Gerald Hurley says retailers and business owners are already losing out as figures show that retail leakage from Waterford is currently €614 million every year.
Most businesses simply can't afford any increase in costs. But more concerning is that this year 2 million government support is being paid to offset a 3.3 million deficit as a once-off measure. That would suggest that rates increases going forward is going to be a fact of life. But a sharp shock increase like the one proposed is just too much for the business community to absorb, and solutions must be found. We need to find ways to help businesses, not penalise them.
He says savings will have to be made elsewhere.
We would very much encourage the local authority to consider what adjustments they could make to their own budget in finding savings. I also think it's extremely important that people of Waterford realise that they could be part of the solution. We're appealing to everyone to make a conscious effort to shop local this Christmas and support the local businesses.
One of the areas where the council is trying to improve their finances is the collection of rent and rates. The council failed to collect around 20% of its rates. In 2017, it was owed over €8 million. Similar percentages existed for rent collection, with the amount owed at €3.6 million. Over a third of housing loan payments weren't collected in that year, with €1.9 million owed. The total income which the council failed to collect for 2017 was €13.8 million. Last July, Director of Services with Council says their new policy targeting council tenants who are in arrears with their rent appears to be working. The local authority is no longer carrying out repairs to the houses of these tenants. Housing Director Ivan Grimes says more tenants are now opting into payment plans.
As the members will be aware, we've introduced a policy where tenants who are in arrears and not in a payment plan, we've withdrawn maintenance services in all cases. That's having an impact in terms of the numbers of tenants who are coming in and entering into payment plans. We also have a small number of higher levels of debt cases where they're due for mention before the courts later this year.
The company behind the North Quays development say they're still working on their planning application. Last month, Falcon Real Estate Development said that by the end of November, the application will be lodged. That hasn't happened, and today they issued a statement saying they're currently preparing an application for planning for the North Quays and Michael Street developments. The company say they intend to provide more specific details in the coming days. The Friday free from 5 parking in the main car parks in Waterford City starts today and has been extended to include Friday the 20th of December. It's a collaboration between Waterford Council and the Port of Waterford. All Waterford Council owned and managed car parking spaces are free of charge on Sundays also. Michael Garland is chair of the Waterford Business Group.
We would be hopefully busy days, but hopefully even busier now, and a little support for Winterville as well. I know Winterville needs the support in terms of footfall, so through the City Centre Management Group, we came up with the idea of 3 from 5 in all City Council spaces, and the Port of Waterford's come on board as well, which is the biggest car park provider on the quay there. There is an open invitation to all the other car park providers who are private. If they want to come on board with exactly the same offer, then we're happy to do that.
Black Friday shopping's in full swing, both in-store and online. Clothes and electrical goods are the most popular items for people trying to bag a bargain. These people in Waterford were asked if they're going to shop locally this Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's very important. It's trying to keep the jobs in Waterford, trying to help people in Waterford. So yeah, I would look at a lot of shopping in Waterford as much as I can.
Sometimes local businesses just charge way too much compared to bigger competitors, which is fair enough if they have to do it. But for us as a consumer, I'm only going to buy what I can afford. If it's local and I can afford it, perfect. If it's not, that's just the way it is.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Whereas I do, but I suppose Waterford has a limited selection of shops as well. So especially for kids buying with Gap and H&M, none of those are in Waterford. So there's definitely an amount of online shopping I would do also.
All our Christmas shopping is pretty much done now, bar the food, and it's all done locally. Nothing was done online this year.
A 31-year-old man was arrested after a drugs search in Waterford City yesterday. It followed extensive surveillance and inquiries into sale of controlled drugs in Waterford. The Waterford Divisional Drugs Unit carried out a search of an apartment in Canada House, Canada Street, and a quantity of cocaine worth €7,000 was seized. The man who was arrested was released, and a file is to be prepared for the DPP. Gardaí are investigating a number of burglaries in Waterford yesterday. In one instance, Gardaí attended a house at Hunters Wood, Balnakill at 7:43pm following an alarm activation. The front door of the house was open and the alarm panel inside had been ripped from the wall, while the alarm on the outside of the house had been tampered with. Some jewellery was taken. Between 7pm and 9:30pm, a family returned to their home at Balnakill to discover the house had been ransacked and some cash was stolen. Between 7pm and 8pm there was damage to a back window of a house at Park Lane, May Park Lane, Waterford. Gardaí attended the scene. Nothing seems to be missing. A black Audi acting suspiciously in the area at the time subsequently left at speed. Gardaí say this car could be connected to the 3 burglaries on the Dunmore Road area. Yesterday evening between 5:30 and 6:15pm the back window of a house at New Ra in Ferrybank was broken. Any information to Gardaí in Waterford on 051 305 300. Meanwhile, Gardaí are warning motorists to take any valuables from their cars and lock them after a spate of thefts in County Waterford. Between 3am and 5am on Wednesday morning, 12 cars in the Ballin Road area of Dungarvan were broken into. Gardaí in Dungarvan are appealing for dash cam or CCTV footage in this area. At this time, they can be contacted on 058 48 600. A number of cars in the Kill St Lawrence estate in Waterford City were also broken into early on Wednesday morning. Waterford will be represented on the Toy Show, Late Late Toy Show tonight. 200 children from around the country are taking part, including Waterford Synergy Dance Club and young boys Robert Downey and Kieran Lenihan. Damien Tiernan on Daysha today spoke to the girls from the Synergy Dance Club, and 4-year-old Kieran Lenihan got a part on the Toy Show by performing Old Town Road.
Yeah, I got my horse to the hotel, I go to
And 7-year-old Robert Downey has been selected to ride a disability bike.
What is going to happen? You've been picked to do what?
The bikes.
What bikes?
On the Late Late Toy Show.
WLR Sport.
Very good afternoon, I'm Gavin. Whelan starting with rugby, and Munster take on Edinburgh in the Guinness Pro 14 this evening. Johan van Graan has made 14 changes to his team from last weekend's Champions Cup draw with Racing 92. Waterford's Jack O'Donoghue is the only man retained. He captains at the Red Army this evening, with Conor Murray, Peter O'Mahony and CJ Stander among 10 Irish World Cup players to drop out. Kick-off at Irish Independent Park in Cork, 7:35. That's the same start time for Ulster's home clash with the Scarlets at the Kingspan Stadium. Soccer, Arsenal have sacked boss Unai Emery after 7 games without a win, their worst run since 1992. The club says the decision had to be taken due to results and performances not being at the level required. Emery was appointed in the summer of 2018 after the departure of Arsene Wenger. Speaking after last night's 2-1 Europa League defeat to Eintracht Frankfurt, the Spaniard was confident he would be given time to turn things around.
I am thinking now in the next match, analysing that match, analysing Europa League, and thinking on Sunday and how we can improve better and how we can also achieve that confidence with the players and then prepare the match on Sunday.
Former player Freddie Ljungberg is to become the club's interim head coach. The 3-time Champions League winner Carlo Ancelotti is among the names being linked with the now vacant role in North London. Liverpool have announced plans to increase the capacity of Anfield to 61,000. The club proposes to redevelop the Anfield Road end, adding 7,000 seats to that stand. One game in the English Championship tonight. Swansea City play host to Fulham. Next to Gaelic Games, Fairfield in Dungarvan will stage Sunday's Munster Club football final between Nemo Rangers and Clonmel Commercials at 2 o'clock. Former Waterford boss John Jackson Kiley is looking forward to seeing forwards Luke Connolly and Michael Quinlivan in action.
You know, this word that they use, a marquee forward, a forward who can swing onto the left or swing onto the right and kick scores from the tightest of angles, you know. Connolly is one of those. Connolly is a breath of fresh air. I was really impressed with him during the year. And of course, Quinlivan has proved it. This guy is top class as well. You're going to have people at either end of the field that can get scores, and that's why people pay entry. That's why a lot of people pay entry fee to go in to see players like that, who have all the skills in the game. And Nemo have a few more guys besides him, but Connolly to me is their number one forward. You know, and I'm looking forward to seeing him playing and looking forward to see how the Commercials defence are going to cope with him.
Throw-in, as mentioned there, is at 2 o'clock, and you can hear more from John Kiley on this evening's Lorna Porca with Tomas coming up after 6 o'clock and here on WLR. In golf, Jonathan Caldwell is 2 under par through 10 holes of his second round at the Alfred Dunhill Championship in South Africa. That leaves him level par for the tournament in a tie for 34th and 6 shots off the lead. Cormac Sharvin is 8 over after 5 holes today. Finally, for altitudes of racing, and the Henry de Bromhead trained Punitive has captured the opening contest at 12:30 up there in Limerick this afternoon at odds of 9-4. Good start for the Knockeen trainer. Action is continuing there on Shannon side, and there's also a card later on this evening at Dundalk. The first at the Loud Track is off this evening at 5:15. That's the latest on WLR. More at 2.